Hello and welcome to this SPC demonstration of the Euclid comparison tool. To use the Euclid comparison tool, you must first have a Euclid instance open. Here I am in the Euclid dashboard. I want to compare two SPC dossiers. An SPC dossier is a read-only snapshot of an editable mixture dataset. To find the two dossiers to compare, I have two options. If I know at least one of the dossier's unique identifiers, UIDs, I can go directly to the dossier from the dashboard search, here. If I do not know one of the dossier's UIDs, I need to go to the mixture list and navigate for the dossier using the available search options. In this case, I have the UID of the source dossier, which is a product family dossier of disinfectants. I want to compare this against a newer, more recent version of this dossier. I have found my dossier, and I want to start the comparison. I do this by clicking on the three-dot menu and selecting Compare. A sliding window appears, and I am first presented with all the dossiers in my Euclid system, which have been curated from the same raw editable dataset. Let's stay here for the moment. As I know my target dossier is created from the same mixture as it is an update, I can use the filter here to find my dossier. As before, I can use the UID of the dossier, but I can also search for the key information presented here, the subject name, for example, and this is the raw mixture name, or the submission type. I know the UID, so I will search for this. To launch the comparison, I just need to select the relevant dossier. The HTML comparison report is now generated and saved to a local folder on my machine. The comparison report has a standard structure which is used for all comparisons. The details of the source and target are provided at the very top of the page, and from then on, the source is on the left hand of the page, here, and the target is on the right hand side of the page, here, and the comparison result is in the middle, here. The report is used most effectively when you understand the structure of the report, which has three levels. The first level, dossier contents, lists all the entities in your dossier and provides a very high-level overview of the comparison results, and shows firstly if content is only in the source or only in the target dossier. For example, here, only in the target is found this manufacturer, which in Euclid is encoded as a legal entity. The second comparison result is probably the most important. This is different, such as we find in the mixture and the substance of the dossier. Different means that there is content differences found within these entities. And the third comparison result is identical, such as here. If I scroll down, I can actually see from a high-level overview that all the reference substances in my dossier are identical and there have been no changes between the two dossiers. This list is collapsible and expandable. This is because these lists of entities can become quite large, and it's helpful to be able to collapse and expand the various entities. Two of these entities, substance and mixture, contain a number of section documents, and so the second level of the comparison report is the section document comparison. If there are differences found, I can jump to the section document comparison from the first level by selecting the different hyperlink. Let's select the mixture's different hyperlink. I'm transported to my mixture. At the start of this section is the name of the mixture. After this, the section document headers are the same that appear in the SPC Euclid table of contents. For example, manufacturers of the product is one of the table of contents headers in Euclid. You will notice that the section document level uses the same set of comparison results as the first level to indicate what is the same or different, or only in source or only in target. By selecting a section document that contains differences, I can navigate directly to the third level. This shows the actual content differences in the entities and the section documents on a field-by-field basis. Here I am directly navigated to one of the buy-side products that contains differences called product 2. If I scroll down a little bit and go here under the family meta SPC product and go to product 2 and I select different, I'm transported to the actual differences found in this buy-side product. Let's explore the report in a bit more detail. I will go back to the section documents level. As this is a HTML report, I can click the back button to navigate back through the hyperlinks I have used to navigate. Here I am back at the section document level. Let's focus on the family meta SPC product section, this section here. I see that there have been many changes here. The source's product summary composition is not found in the source. This one here. This means that this summary has been deleted by the preparer of the dossier. However, I see there is a new product summary composition in the target here. So I know the source is not missing the composition, but the user has just added a completely new summary. Moreover, I know that this new summary is not the same in content as the original, as at least the name of the composition has changed. Here it's SBP2, product family of disinfectants, and here just product family of disinfectants. In addition, at the meta SPC level, I can see that the meta SPC2 dipping use here has been removed from the target and is only in the source. So I know that as I selected the newer version of the dossier as my target, that the updated dossier no longer has a dipping use. Finally, I can see that the meta SPC1 spray use found here has been modified, as well as 2 products, as these are indicated as different. Product 1, product 2 are both indicated as different. At this level, I can see there has been a name change of the products, but to see in more detail what has changed, I will need to select different, for example, for product 1. This level then gives the field name the first column, so you can identify the field referred to. Then the content differences are provided between the source and target in the second and third columns. Here I can see that not only the product name has changed, but the trade names have been changed as well. These are text fields, and as such, the text that is changed is highlighted in the report. The source is in red and the target in green. Continuing, I can see the meta SPC differences for spray use. I can firstly see that the products referred to by the meta SPC have changed. Then I can see that the remaining differences for classification, authorized uses, instructions for use, and the summary and evaluation have all on the surface changed. However, when looking more into the actual names, I can see that these are all the same. In fact, they are identical. I know they are the same because there are no differences highlighted like previously with the product names, for instance. However, all these are reference fields and points to the case that there are potential differences within these reference documents. So I want to explore what has changed here. So I will navigate back to my section documents list. If I scroll down from the family meta SPC product to the hazard and precautionary statements, I can identify what is going on here. I can see that the hazard precaution statements for spray use was indicated as different because there is one spray use in source and one spray use in target. These are identified as different because the person preparing the dossier has removed the original document and replaced it with another. We don't know the reason why the user has replaced this document entirely. However, importantly, we get an indication about the actual content differences, which is the core part of the comparison results. I can see that both the source and target has ref 3, which indicates that despite the document UID is different because there is a new document, the content is in fact identical. In fact, the previously submitting dipping use also has the same hazard and precaution information as well, as this also has ref 3. This content reference can be very helpful because in the scenario above, where a document UID is not the same because, for instance, a new document was created, we can still get an indication if the content is the same or not. When continuing to compare these two dossiers, continue to use the differences of the section documents and go to the field by field differences as needed. Let's go to the second comparison. I will now move to another type of comparison, which is different to the previous comparison in two respects. One, it is comparing two dossiers that have been created from different raw editable mixtures. Secondly, it is comparing a family product with a single product, the latter of which cannot be done in SPC editor. So now I'm in my source dossier again. I click on compare. This time, as the raw mixture I'm comparing with is different to the source, I will need to unclick Show Only Dossiers of Product Family of Disinfectants. This means that all the mixtures in my database are shown. Again, I can search for the dossier I'm looking for. This time I know the UID. So this is the single product I'm looking to compare to my product family. Let's open the comparison report. So as I mentioned, these two dossiers have been curated using different mixture datasets. Therefore, these mixtures have different unique identifiers. However, with version 6.14.3 of Euclid onwards, the comparison results still give you a meaningful output, as if the mixture datasets are different, there is an order-based comparison. The presentation of the order-based comparison is the same as before. We have three key comparison results as previously: different, identical, and only in source or target. If I go to the product one differences, click on different, you will see a number of differences in the typical concentration. In Euclid, each typical concentration is part of a row in a repeatable block field. You will be able to know which row is being referred to by the number provided in the comparison report. Number 1 is the first row of the repeatable block in Euclid, and number 2, the second row, etc. Now let's move to the third comparison. Here, I will show how rich text field differences are highlighted. I will search for a new source dossier. Again, it doesn't have the same mixture UID, but I can still find it anyway and get a meaningful comparison result. Here, I will show how rich text differences are highlighted. If I navigate to the other information field, now I could use the navigation provided in the HTML comparison report, but as this is a web page, I can use Ctrl and F to find something I'm looking for, which I know exists. So for instance, I know that I'm looking for the other information field, and I can navigate directly through the browser if I wish. So here I can see that for other information for Meta SPC1, there are differences found. Let's click on the difference. Here I am in the other information document for Meta SPC1. I can see that there are text differences just by quickly observing the source and the target dossiers. But as this is a rich text field, I will need to select Highlight Differences underneath the field name to see the differences highlighted. This is the same for all rich text fields. Rich text fields are the fields in Euclid where you can format the text, so by adding tables or by embolding words, etc. If I go to the differences in the target organisms document, again, I will use the browser navigation for this. You will see that the scientific name and common name have various differences. Here they are. All the names provided are in the other free text field in Euclid. Currently, these differences are not highlighted, but will be in the next service release of Euclid in October 2022.